Hey YouTube, welcome to another episode of Nurse Nikki is Learning to Draw. I'm Nurse Nikki, and today we are going to be drawing a rhinoceros beetle. So if that's something that you would be interested in looking at, please stay tuned. Okay, so here I start to draw the body of the beetle. It's nice when you draw bugs. In my opinion anyway, it's nice when you draw bugs because they have nice big shapes. And that's one of the things that they tell you when you're starting to draw anything, especially if you're using a reference, that you want to get those big shapes down first because it really helps you to get your shell down and not have to worry about the detail. If you're like me, it's nice to be able to do that anyway and not get just so frustrated with other little things. So having the body and the head pretty much drawn here was something that I was happy to see that I could get down rather quickly. The whole drawing, I believe the whole thing took about 45 minutes. I did a lot of shading to this and you'll see that towards the end, so stick around to the end to see that. But anyway, I just continued to get the larger shapes down first, and then once I got that done, I started to work on the legs, and you should see that coming up here. And the legs, I could have broken down the legs into easier forms by making little rectangles and then going back through the rectangles and refining the shape, but a lot of times I'm pressed for time, so I just did it all at once, just drew the legs with some of the definitions right away. And so that's what you're seeing here. So I'm doing all 6 legs. If you notice in the top left corner, one of the legs is looking kind of crooked. Don't roast me on that one. I don't know, when I was looking at the reference photo, it did show the leg was shorter than all the other ones, but I believe that was because it's supposed to kind of look like the beetle is walking, but when I did it, I didn't make that leg fat enough. I realized that too late in the drawing that I did that, but it is what it is. And then the other thing I made a mistake on was, so a beginner's mistake, right? Not accounting for the size of what you're drawing on the paper. So I had to make some of the legs a little bit shorter, and they kind of are closer together on the beetle. That's more on the right side. But I still think it came out okay. And then I started to go around the beetle with my dark pencil. Here, this was a mistake. So I made the lines around the beetle a little bit too dark. And let me just pause to tell you this. At this point, I started to kind of get a little frustrated because when I started the blending, I realized that I made it a little bit too dark on the edges, and I started to get frustrated. Honestly, I wanted to just throw this thing in the garbage. I was just upset. I was like, man, I ruined my drawing. But then I said, you know what? Maybe this is something that can be salvaged. So I decided to keep working on the shading, adding more in towards the middle. I believe you'll see that I added a little bit more shading towards the middle, at least the markings from the pencil to add the shading with the blending stump, or blending, excuse me. So I added the blending, and finally it started to look halfway decent and my frustration started to disappear. But like I said, I stopped this drawing halfway in the middle and I was like, man, I'm not going to continue with this. This is my encouragement to you. We as beginners, sometimes we'll start a project and we'll think, man, this is utter garbage. I mean, that's how we can feel. But I think you should just keep going with it and try different techniques to see if you can make something out of what you drew. And also, if it doesn't come out as well as you want, chalk it up to I got another drawing done, which means that I'm further along in my drawing experience, which means that you're going to get better one drawing at a time. And so as I continued, I used a gel pen, start adding a few highlights, and I did use an eraser for some of the highlights as well. And then if you noticed, I went under the legs of my little beetle to add some shading to make it appear as if it was off the page. So it's not completely 3D, but that was my attempt. When I initially started putting the little lines under the beetle's legs, at first they were kind of offset and I had to erase them and put it towards the end where their leg would be touching the paper. But I don't know. I think overall it came out pretty good. I do appreciate your watching and sticking with me through this video. Question of the day for you. Have you ever had a drawing that you tried to do that it just wasn't going the way that you wanted and you just felt like throwing it away? What did you do about that? Leave that in the comment section below. And again, thank you. Hit the like button, subscribe, share, and press the bell button so you can be notified when I post again. Okay, thanks so much. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.